All right, everybody, y'all have hit the download button on the Unleashed show, and I got Fluffy himself. That's right, Gabriel Iglesias coming by 316 Gimmick Street to open up a can of Audio Whoop-Ass today. We're going to get to Fluffy, but first, have you let LegalZoom help you out yet? If you have, shoot me an email at questions@steveaustenshow.com and tell me about it, and then I'll read it right here on the show. LegalZoom really can make your life a lot easier. Hey, even with all this modern technology floating around with your iPads, your smartphones, your computers, none of it makes understanding legalese any easier. None of it makes navigating the legal system and lawyers any easier either. So let LegalZoom do that for you. They can help you with starting a business, getting a trademark, or taking care of a will or living trust. LegalZoom will walk you step by step through the process, and LegalZoom will get the job done right. So check out LegalZoom.com today. And don't forget to enter Austin, AUSTIN, in the referral box at checkout to get a special discount. That's my last name, in case you did not know that. Austin, use it so you can save even more money. LegalZoom provides legal help through independent attorneys and self-help services, but it is not a law firm.
The following program is a podcast1.com production.
He started in a small town in Texas. Worked his ass off to become one of the most famous wrestlers of all time.
We're going to take care of business tonight, and that's the bottom line.
And now he's dominating the world of on-demand audio. And he's doing it for the working man.
This is a damn good outlet for me to spew the bullshit off my brain.
Yeah! This is the Steve Austin Show. Unleashed.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Steve Austin Show. I'm coming to you from my house today here at 316 Gimmick Street, sitting here on my ass, scratching my head and shaking it at the same time. It was one of those days where everything started off great and turned into a real quick clusterfuck as Gabriel Iglesias came down from the LBC Long Beach to the studios here at 316 Gimmick Street in my house. And he brought with his friend Jared Rocha, another stand-up comedian, and another cat by the name of Richard, who runs the Comedy and Magic Club over in Hermosa Beach, where Fluffy played last night. And he sent me a text message, and he invited me to go see his show last night. But I was busy out doing my research, trying to think of stuff for us to talk about. And I was going to sit in my front yard and drink a beer and enjoy the nice weather out here in my front yard. And that's what I was doing, using my 2 trash cans in my driveway with my little portable Bluetooth speaker, listening to George Strait on my iPhone, drinking a beer, writing down a few things that I thought I might talk to Gabriel about. Well, Gabriel came, we sat down, we all shook hands, started laughing and joking and talking about current events and all the stuff that's been going on here in Los Angeles, in particular with the Los Angeles Clippers, with Sterling, with his wife, with his girlfriend, with this whole thing with the NBA. And, you know, we made a lot of comedy about that. There was some stuff in there that was absolutely funny as fuck. And it was all spontaneous, good-natured shit. There was electricity in the room. Anytime me and Fluffy Guy get across the table from one another and the microphone is rolling, we'll just go off each other. And he's one of the funniest, fastest guys in the world. So it was a great time, and Jerry was kicking his shit in. And, hell, he grabbed the microphone, started talking. They're on tour together right now. So it was a great conversation. And, Richard from the Comedy Club was sitting over here at a table, another chair over here laughing his ass off, and the shit was flying fast and deep. Then all of a sudden, I looked down at my Zoom H4n recorder, and shock, dismay, and horror enter my gut. My record button has been pushed, but you got to push it not once but twice. Well, first time you push it, you can read your levels, but you're not recording anything. So it looked like I was recording everything we were saying, but I was not. I wasn't recording a goddamn thing. An hour and 10 minutes into the conversation, all this great shit we had talked about. Fluffy's going on tour. I was talking to him about being in Alaska, what he did for his, some laugh and giggle and enjoy some downtime type stuff. Asked him if he went up there and fished any of the streams for some salmon. thought he might get his ass attacked by a big-ass grizzly bear, all kinds of stupid shit. And then we started talking about a nursery rhyme, Hey Diddle Diddle. And you're going to hear mention of that as you listen to this interview. And that's because once I break the news, as this podcast starts, the recording of the conversation with Gabriel Iglesias, you're going to hear these references and they come out of the blue. It's because we talked about them an hour and 10 minutes before I realized that I had not been pushing the record button. So I'll tell you what, things came to an instant halt. And I told the guys, and you'll hear it, I said, man, look, I didn't push the record button. I didn't record a goddamn part of anything that we just said. And this was laugh out loud shit. And we were having such a great time. And after being kicked in the gut, I had to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. I had to deliver a show. We kept on going. And we put that an extra hour in, but we couldn't recreate what had spontaneously come about this square table we were sitting at. And it's a testament to how funny and professional Gabriel Iglesias and what kind of person he is, and Jared Rocha to stay around and give me that extra hour. And, man, they weathered the storm. They didn't even give a shit. They started laughing about it. I guess that's why they're comedians. They can find the ability to laugh at anything. And don't get me wrong, I like to laugh at myself just as much as the next guy. But when you're the dipshit who's supposed to be running the recording controls and you fucked everything up, it's on your shoulders. So it was on my shoulders, and to that I offer Fluffy Guy and Jared my humble apologies for fucking up an hour and 10 minutes of pure comic gold. Anyway, we're going to recreate. Now, we ain't going to try to recreate. I'm going to go down to the LBC, to Long Beach, to Fluffy Guy headquarters here in about maybe the next month or two. We'll see when Gabriel cools his jets. He's going out on the road doing his thing. And when he cools the jets, I'll go back down there, and we're going to start off fresh and just go over some stuff, because anytime, like I said, me or him gets across the table from each other, we just start shooting the breeze and funny shit happens. It's a testament to what a talented guy he is, and also to his partner who's on the road with him at this particular stretch, Jared Rocha, who had some funny stories about being down there in Dallas, Texas at the Sportatorium when he was 4 years old. His first ever wrestling match that his dad took him to. And Kamala, the Ugandan giant, was there and scared him so bad that he told his dad, hey, let's get out of here. Because he was worried about Kamala getting out of control and getting out there and messing up all the people, because he really believed that wrestling was real. And we're going to talk a little bit about that later on in the podcast, but the first time around was the best time he told that story. So anyway, it was a hell of a damn thing. Me sitting out last night drinking beer on my trash cans trying to come up with material, and goddamn, I had no idea that I call this show the One Man Clusterfuck, the OMCF, the original OMCF, One Man Clusterfuck, because if there's any way you can fuck something up in regards to technology or recording equipment or anything, I can damn sure fuck it up, and I did this. An hour and 10 minutes, I'll say it for the last time, of pure comic gold gone to the wayside. But we'll get it down the road. Hey, y'all been sending me a lot of damn questions, comments, and suggestions to questions@steveaustonshow.com. I got an interesting email from a guy who called himself Mr. Fly. He basically is saying he's back. He's calling me out here on the email, asking me if I'm ready for round 2. Yours truly, Mr. Fly. I'm not going to read the whole damn email because it's absolutely filled with a lot of typos and 4-letter words. And I ain't afraid of the 4-letter words, but I can't do it any justice. I laughed out loud when I read this email. Mr. Fly, you ready? I'm ready. Let's do this. Austin versus Mr. Fly 2 coming very, very soon. Obviously, it's going to be on the Thursday show, the Steve Austin Show Unleashed, because this motherfucker's going to be heavy duty. And if you think the first time was easy because Superfly Jimmy Snuka came in, busted a coconut over my head, and that's how you was able to pin me, and like it says in this email, you didn't need Jimmy Superfly Snuka. You didn't even think he was going to be in the building, but he was. This time, Snuka won't be in the building. Fly, you on, you and me, Austin versus Mr. Fly 2, gonna happen real soon. Here's an email from Joey Morales. Dig this. Hey, Steve, first and foremost, I'd like to say thank you for all the years you made wrestling more epic than anyone could have asked for. I'm about to be 25 years old, and when I got into wrestling, you were the first wrestler that stood out to me, and you instantly became one of my favorites. I loved watching the Attitude Era live and seeing mud holes being stomped each week. To this day, you're my favorite professional wrestler of all time, and I've greatly enjoyed rewatching all your pay-per-view matches on the WWE Network. My question is more of a request, and that request is you could take 2 minutes to watch my new music video that I made. It pays homage to Stone Cold Steve Austin. I make music professionally and independently, and I made a song entitled The Ring that has a Stone Cold audio whoop-ass theme. I rented a ring, got some classic SCSA gear, and do most of your vintage moves on camera while I also reference you and your finisher in the song. It's actually pretty epic, and I know you'll love it. Thank you for your time, and thank you for creating your podcast. I listen to it every week, and it's greatly entertaining. Austin 316 for life from Joey Morales. Now, you can watch this video on YouTube. It's called The Ring, and then in parentheses, it has official music video produced by DJ Hoppa. And I got my little Bluetooth speaker. Let me see if I can play a little bit, if my technology will allow.
It's the mastermind hyphenate. Yo, I spit real lyrics while you suckers just tap dance. I'll blow you up faster than America to dag that. Step into the ring, bring your mic and I will snatch that. That stupid look on your face, I'm super quick to slap that. Ring the bell, start the match, let's get it crackin'. I'll turn into a psycho like my name was Sick Jackin'. And like a Michael Bay movie, non-stop action. I knock you in the head with steel bars when I'm rapping. I'm the independent that the majors can't keep up with. Razor sharp rhymes that'll leave you with a $1.50. You get smashed down like dynamic compression. I'm coming up quick and going hard like erections. Straight jabs, uppercuts, body shots, chokeholds. No limits, no rules. I come in like I'm stone cold, the toughest SOB. You better take cover or it's 2 middle fingers and a stone cold stunner. Stone cold stunner, a stone cold stunner. 2 middle fingers and a stone cold stunner.
All right, you get the picture there. Hey, that's Joey, the Mastermind Hyphenate. You can check him out on YouTube, The Ring, produced by DJ Hoppa. Hey, bro, I appreciate you making that video. You did a damn good job of that damn thing. The production values is high. Your music is badass. You did a good job with it. I want to say I'm glad that I could have, inspired you. I appreciate you watching what I was doing back then. I had a hell of a time during those days, and you did a great job with your video. So congrats, and if you guys want to go check out that video, go to YouTube and type in The Ring, official music video produced by DJ Hoppa. And, hell, with that being said, we're going to jump into conversation with my main man, Gabriel Iglesias, fluffy guy. He's here in person. Well, he was here in person, and I fucked up an hour and 10 minutes of that conversation. Before we get to him, I want to ask you one more time to please help out by supporting my sponsors. They're the ones who make it possible for me to do this for you free twice a week. And I ain't asking you to buy anything. I'm simply asking you to check them out. See if it ain't something you can use. And now you can find them all in one place. And all you got to do is go to podcast1.com and click on the Keep Our Podcast free banner at the top of the page. And you can even get to all my Amazon links from there. That's right. We got Amazon UK, Amazon Canada hooked up so you can help support the show too. Just go to podcast1.com, click on the Keep Our Podcast free banner at the top of the page, and show my sponsors a little bit of love. We got Fluffy coming up, but first, you ain't got much time left to take care of Mom for Mother's Day, folks. It's a good thing I'm looking out for your ass. I'm going to hook you up with a great deal from Pro Flowers. And this is going to make you the favorite kid for sure. Send Mom 1 dozen assorted color roses with a free glass vase from proflowers.com for just $19.99. Or if she likes to work out in the garden, upgrade to the pink potted rose or yellow potted rose plant for just $9.99 more. She can plant them things and enjoy the roses for years to come. Just go to proflowers.com, click on the microphone in the top right corner, and use my promo code, UNLEASHED. And Pro Flowers are guaranteed to last a full week, or you will get your money back. Hey, gang, you cannot go wrong with Pro Flowers. I don't know a single woman who don't love getting fresh flowers delivered right to their door. And it don't get no easier than this. Just go to proflowers.com, click on the microphone in the top right corner, and use my promo code UNLEASHED. Go to proflowers.com now and take advantage of this special offer. And remember to use my promo code UNLEASHED. All right, gang, here we go with Fluffy Guy, a.k.a. Gabriel Iglesias, and his posse consisted of Jerry Rocha and Richard Barrett.
I've done a bunch of runs in Texas, like the small towns down in Texas where it's, you know, it can get really dicey sometimes because it's almost in a roadhouse atmosphere, and you got to bring it like bottle throwers, and a lot of times it's, and I'll never forget, one of the bookers, the guy who ran the room, was like, well, son, if they throw a bottle at you, they didn't like you. And he was like, that's your fault, like, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like,
joke.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, shit. And he had those. My worst was I was doing a gig in two worst. One of them, they turned off the World Series in the middle of Game 4, third inning. It's like, all right, time for comedy. And so and I was the first guy. So you're getting booed before you even take the stage. And it's like, and now I have to be like, hey, so my girlfriend, you know, it's like, we don't give a shit about anything. And I did a show for a Klansman that had no idea in Monroe, Louisiana. And at the time, I was seeing an African-American girl. And I was doing my act. Everything was fine. And I mentioned how I was Mexican. And he was laughing. And all of a sudden, he just gets real quiet. And I was like, well, what happened, dude? I said, did I piss you off there saying I'm Mexican? I didn't mean to, you know, piss off the chapter or whatever clan you're a part of. And he just goes, nuts of, and he stands up. And I'm like, you're kidding. He goes, nuts of, you son of a bitch. I don't joke about this shit. Fuck you, you fucking wetback. And I'm like, well, I said, this is your worst nightmare because I'm Mexican, I look Jewish, and I'm banging a black chick. Like, you better, like, this is all your worst dreams have come to life.
The triple whammy.
Yeah, triple whammy.
Y'all see my tone has changed.
Oh, what happened?
Y'all been
Has
here.
everything? Oh, we've outstayed our welcome.
Should we leave?
The lawn Mexicans left. I think the indoor ones got to go too.
I guess we have to pick up the slack now.
No, y'all. As soon as I
Go,
tell
hey,
you this,
get the brown trash can. I'll get the blue one.
Yeah.
we've been laughing our asses off here for an hour and 10 minutes,
Okay.
and it wasn't recording.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
No way.
Yeah, it's recording now.
That's awesome. That's great.
Hey, let me go to the liquor store.
God
This
damn.
is the greatest rehearsal ever. This is the best dry run of all time.
Some of the best shit I come up with on the fly, and it was not captured.
Hey, diddle diddle, we gotta break.
Hey, diddle diddle.
You know,
Cat in the fiddle.
you know what just happened? The dish ran away with the spoon.
Jesus fucking Christ. God damn.
You're
I
actually
tell
turning
you
red,
what.
dude.
Everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, gang.
How you guys doing?
Well, I'm glad you guys enjoying the Steve Austin show. Because I've been sitting here.
Welcome to part 2 of part 1 of the Steve Austin.
Do you mind if I?
Go ahead.
You look like everybody at the Superdome when Brock Lesnar got the 3 count. You literally look like every single person at the Superdome.
God damn, I fucking. Folks, I'm sweating too. I'm gonna turn my air conditioner on. We've been talking about Kamala, the Ugandan giant. We've been talking about the Sportatorium, Dallas, Texas. Fluffy Guy over in Alaska. Oh, all kinds of good shit. Cialis, Viagra, and none of it was recorded.
You know the funniest part is out of
Gabe, is there really something funny about it?
absolutely, Steve. This is hysterical.
This is a great.
Oh my God!
In fact,
Are you
I hope you start the podcast right here with this. This is great. This is
Okay, no, there's always a silver lining in every dark cloud. So, Fluffy, go ahead and bust out that silver lining.
The silver
before
lining
I
is-
jump
is-
off this table. And this table's only 4 foot tall, so I ain't going to do a whole lot of damage.
Hey man, I felt so terrible about how freaking fast and user friendly my website was until I realized you forgot to push the fucking button.
I'm going back to fluffyguy.com.
Don't even start. Don't even start. My website is gold next to you and your finger that didn't make it to the magic button.
God dang, you talk about a clusterfuck, man. I always refer to this as the OMCF, the one-man clusterfuck. And it has been that and then some. And like I said, Fluffy rolls in, and this time you got a different posse. You got a couple different cats with you. You done shit can the rest of the crew. What happened? And I said posse, not pussy. I'm happily married like a motherfucker, and Fluffy ain't gonna come over here with all these shenanigans and ruin my damn marriage just like that chick did with the goddamn Los Angeles Clippers and all that hullabaloo. Now we're gonna get to that in a minute because we talked about it an hour ago.
Deja vu.
So what's with the new crew? What happened to the guys?
There's nothing with the new crew. I mean, this is Jerry. This is one of the guys that's always on the road. And over here, this is Richard. He's the general manager of the Comedy Magic Club here in Hermosa Beach, which is about 10 miles away from Broken Skull Ranch Satellite.
Yep. Man, speaking of magic tricks, I wish I could make you motherfuckers disappear right now.
It'll be the shortest podcast ever.
So we've been having a hellacious conversation, and then, of course, I hit the wrong button, so I didn't record none of this shit. I'm going to go back to fluffyguy.com, Gabriel Iglesias' website, and it's a wonderful website, and it's very interactive.
There you go.
It's got all the latest, greatest on what Gabriel Iglesias is up to. He's on the road. He's touring. He's making movies. He's making money up in this bitch. Wherever he goes, everything turns to green. I smell money. So anyway, I was on your website, and you've got this little thing right here in the middle. Everybody that's listening to the show right now, y'all go to fluffyguy.com, and there's a little thing in the middle. It's a square with a question mark that says, did you know? And so you try to read these motherfuckers, just like I told them a while ago. I drank a couple of Speed Stacks before Fluffy came over. I took a couple of Alpha Brains. I crunched up two, and I snorted those motherfuckers too. So I could be on the same level with Gabriel Iglesias, one of the funniest, fastest cats in the world. So here we go. Did you know? And these are questions and a little bit of 411 on Gabriel Iglesias. Did you know if you Google the word Fluffy, Gabriel is at the top of the search results? He's even listed before. I didn't get a chance to finish reading it. Did you know Gabriel is an avid bowler? You can often catch him at the bowling lanes knocking it. Gabriel runs his own social network, so if you get a reply, it actually was Fluffy who did it. I finished that one. Gabriel has performed in all 50 states. Home is when the bus stops moving, Gabriel. Okay, I finished that one. Gabriel has spent over 4,000 hours performing on stage. That's like performing 24 hours a day for over. See, dude, I'm reading fast as fuck, am I not?
You are,
and I can't.
That Speed Stack is kicking in hard, man.
Okay, so tell me what's up. I mean, because I'm okay. I'm not going to say I'm Einstein. I do not know how E equals MC squared, but I assume it does. But I ain't stupid, so I can't read these motherfuckers, Gabe. So why don't you slow this thing down to help a brother out?
I'm gonna get the guy that designed the website that's drinking the same stuff you're drinking to slow.
Dude, I'd like to right now. If he was here, I'd put my foot in his ass. I really would. I'd ruin a damn good tennis shoe. I'm wearing flip flops. I would bury a flip flop in his ass if he was here today. I met him too because we had lunch.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, Lance.
What's his name?
Lance,
slow this motherfucker down. With that being said, the rest of the website is kick ass.
Okay. User friendly.
You got to go to the Evelyn Woodhead speed reading course to understand this motherfucker. Hey, question. All over the world, you on tour. We've been talking about Alaska. You said you're going up to Alaska in a couple of weeks. You've been there before. We was talking about you catching salmon and chasing bears and stuff like that.
Chasing bears? Hi.
But my question is, do you ever go down to Mexico City or anywhere in Mexico and do your show in Spanish? Straight up serious question.
No. I will not cross the border, not anytime soon. Just, man, I get too dangerous. It's very dangerous right now. I'd rather go to Iraq. Right. People getting kidnapped left and right going to Mexico, especially people. Yeah, go ahead.
So we talked. I'm from Dallas, Texas, originally. By the way, my name is Jerry Rocha. Hello, hi. Thank you for having me. I'm from Dallas, Texas. My whole family's from Laredo. So when I was a little kid, my great grandpa used to take me across the border to Nuevo Laredo, which is right there, and he would get his hair cut, and I would go with him. I was, 3 years old, at 4 years, I would play soccer with kids on the street, and it was safe. He'd be like, "Hey, go ahead." And I'm Mexican, I look Jewish, I looked white as shit when I was a kid. So, now there's no way I would survive 2 seconds. And, we would go across the border, about 4 or 5 years ago, right before you needed a passport to cross over. And we would go, and I'll never forget, my family and I went across one day to Nuevo Laredo, like 6-7 years ago, and there's this woman just middle of summer. You know how hot it gets down in South, that area.
Damn right.
In the middle of the summertime, and she is wrapped in ponchos, and she has a cup out waiting for donations. But I looked, and the cup was empty, and she just whistled when she saw us, and that was it. And I thought that was her way of saying, "Hey, come here, give me a hand." But nobody was giving her any bread. And then we come back the next day, and I just thought, I don't know why, but instead of looking at her, when she whistled, I just happened to look, and 3 dudes pop their heads out of the corner of a building and they mark us. So she tells them who the Americans are, who the tourists are who are coming over. And they have one little mercado in the little market in Nuevo Laredo that you can walk around and stuff. Man, if you go outside of that, you are on your own. And that's what there was a guy mounted on a Jeep with a machine gun, just one of those giant, like to kill the fucking Predator machine guns, and just there. And just kind of looking around, waiting for shit to, and I was like, man, we probably shouldn't be coming back here anymore. It got.
So what was the year where you was a pretty streetwise cat? How old was you when you noticed that they was marking out the Americans?
It was that day. It was because I was like,
how old were you?
Oh, that was not that long ago. It was because I used to never go back. It was about 6-7 years ago. We used to go all the time, and then it just kind of became don't go because my whole family, my grandmother's house is about a mile from the border. And that won't be where we'll be hanging out in Laredo. Don't worry. But
I'm all concerned. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna hang out with my family in Laredo." I'm like, "No."
We'll be at my other aunt's house. But my grandmother's house, it used to be in this nice old neighborhood, and now, I mean, starting about 10, 12 years ago, every night you hear gunshots. You'll hear sometimes machine gun. It's crazy, and it's all from across.
Yeah, but man, we used to go down there because man, growing up down there in the Edna, Victoria area, it's right down the road to the Laredo. We go across the way to Laredo. And go over and, man, get loaded up on Coronas, drink like a son bitch, buy some cowboy hats, a poncho, and come on back. But that's what we did. Or go down to South Padre, cross over Brownsville, wherever. And but these days, not so much. But, man, we filmed. I filmed 3 seasons of Redneck Island over there in Puerto Vallarta area. And,
That's not Mexico.
That's not Mexico. That's a little nicer.
Well, see, but you're talking about border town.
The border town's where it gets bad.
Yeah, once you get on the interior, a little bit different ball game. But, yeah, man, and see, dude, my ranch is 106 miles from Laredo. So, a lot of people don't understand. It's a little hectic down there. Once you get inside, it's a beautiful country.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of shit going on over there.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Do you remember, because of course, I was born in Dallas. Remember when it was probably the mid to late 80s when those college kids got killed in Matamoros? Do you remember that?
Yeah, his name was from University of Texas. His name was Mark Kilroy.
Yeah, that was where it kind of got that was kind of the beginning of.
That's how much that stuck with me. It's 2014. I still remember the kid's name.
Yeah. That was scary.
Okay, but anyway, Fluffy, back to you. Would you
don't segue from a kid getting killed?
No.
Hey, Fluffy, no.
I mean, how do you segue out of that?
Yeah, right.
Should I go to my damn Cialis Viagra rant?
That's my fault. That was my fault. Sorry.
But to answer your question, going to Mexico to do shows is not in my future anytime soon.
Okay. Skip Mexico. Just as far as would you ever do one of your shows in Spanish?
I have done my shows in Spanish, and unfortunately, my Spanish is not as good as I'd like it to be.
Right.
I can carry a conversation. I can order food. I can follow along with anything that's on TV or the radio and then sing along. But when you're carrying a conversation with someone whose first language is Spanish, you realize just how much you sound like Selena.
Yeah.
You just, it's like in the interviews, you got those guys that are like a hardcore and they go bajillion miles an hour. Sí, aquí estamos con comediante Gabriel Iglesias. And then you're in there and you're like, hola. You sound super white on those stations. Hola, yo me llamo Gabriel. Yeah, so I'll keep it in English, man. That's where the money's at.
So you sent me a text message last night. She's going to be in Hermosa Beach. It's about 8-10 miles from my crib here in MDR, Marina Del Rey. We're going to go back over this. When you're in Los Angeles, every little city got the initials. The MDR is Marina Del Rey for me here. There are people out there all over the world. Now, you come from the LBC.
LBC, Long Beach, California.
Long Beach, California. So you was going to be right in my neck of the woods. I was going to go down and see you. How did the show turn out?
The show turned out. Show was sold out. It's a show that I have the last Tuesday of every month. Okay. So anybody that's in LA, you want to see me work out my stuff. People say, well, how do you come up with material and stuff? That's the show where everything happens for the first time, where you hear me working stuff out, and I'd say 80% of the show is ha-has, and then 20% is like, wow, he better not try that again.
Right.
So.
Hey, tell me about the feeling of that on stage, though, because being back in the squared circle, you do something, you listen to the response, and you gauge accordingly.
Feedback.
That's how you make your next move. So all of a sudden you throw out a turd, and you're like, okay, mark that one down, not to do again. But does it take you off your rhythm?
No, the great part with stand-up is that for me, if I say a joke and it doesn't get anything, I make fun of the fact that I can't believe I just said that to the people, or I make fun of the fact that the joke tanked.
Right.
And that will always get a laugh.
The silver lining in the dark cloud.
There
you go. Like with me not pushing the record button.
You ever get stubborn? My problem is I get stubborn. If I believe in a joke and it tanks the first time out, I'm like, nah, fuck it. I'm trying it again. I'm gonna give it another shot. Do you ever do that, or is it
not in the same show?
Not in the same show, right? Yeah.
I'll try it on a
Yeah. 5 minutes later. All right, let's try this again.
Right,
I think you guys didn't understand. You guys didn't understand how good this was. Let me try this one again. No, but
See,
like,
that would get a laugh.
that would get a laugh. Yeah, but I'm stubborn. I'll stick with jokes 5 or 10 times, even if they keep tanking. I'm like, I really like. But and maybe that's the jokes that we like the best are the ones that don't ever do.
All right, so then, Jared, how long you been doing stand up?
I've been doing stand up almost as long as Gabe, actually. Yeah, I've been
17 years.
17 years. I started right out of high school. I graduated high school in Dallas, and I went to community college for about 5 weeks. I'm like, this shit's the same as high school. I'm an idiot. I'm a dickhead.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah. and so we would always go to this comedy club that sounds like a gay bar. It was called the Back Door, and it was in Dallas, and that was just play, and they had a sign, that said, "Do you think you're funny? Try open mics." I'm like, shit, that's what I should do. And so, I was such a dickhead in high school. I'd prank teachers all the time. It was like, man, I should make a living out of it, and then so I just started.
What kind of student were you? Were you smart? Or
Yeah, my aunt is still mad at me to this. Ay, pinche pendejo, you could have been a doctor, like all that. Like, cause I had fight, but my grades suffered because I did just enough to pass. You know what I mean? I was like, because I wanted to have fun. I could tell you.
So did you go to college?
No, I just started doing stand up, and I was like, that was my love. And
how much you on the road? And so you're out here in the LBC in Marina Del Rey at my crib right now, 316 Gimmick Street. But where you live?
I live in the Valley Village, right above Studio City. Okay. So, Laurel Canyon, Magnolia area.
Are you out with Gabe right now?
Sometimes. It's great.
When I say out, I don't mean like you're dating. I mean like y'all.
Oh, no. This is our official coming out, too.
We're sitting this close because we got to share a mic, all right?
This is our official coming out party. We did it here. Yeah, we did it here. We thought if we're going to come out anywhere, it's going to be on this podcast.
All kinds of shit happening at the studios here at 316 Gimmick Street.
I tour with Gabe as often as I can. And I by the way, thank you so much for that opportunity because it's great. And but I like this weekend, for whatever it's worth, I'm going to be headlining a run of one-nighters in Santa Barbara, and I'm working out a new hour, just trying to get that going. And for whatever reason, what I love about comedy is some guys Eddie Murphy hits when he's 18, and boom. I've been doing it 17 years. I haven't hit yet. Maybe I will one day. But I just love the fact that I know I'm good at what I do. I get a good enough response, and that it's like, this keeps me going.
Who are some of the guys that influenced you coming up?
When I was a kid, this is my first, I'll tell you, my first influence to do stand-up comedy, I'm not kidding, was Michael Hayes. Because I remember I used to watch him at the Sportatorium. I used to hate him so much because he was the bad guy.
Yeah.
But when he would take the mic, I'll never forget, he said this thing about they shot a thing where they were in a pool hall, the Freebirds, right? Yeah. And he's sitting there and he goes, Kerry Von Erich is so stupid it takes him an hour and a half to watch 60 Minutes. And I'm like, as a kid, I was like, genius! I was like, I'm like, man, I have to hate this guy, but shit, that was super funny. Like, that was a great line. And then, but I loved it. Of course, like, when I was a kid, nothing beat watching Sam Kinison on Rodney Dangerfield's Young. I remember like when Eddie Murphy, Dana Carvey, guys like that. Like I would sneak in my grandmother when we'd go visit in Laredo, and she had HBO. We couldn't afford HBO, but my grandma had it because Mexicanos. She knew somebody who could hook it up for her, And so we went, and I loved that my grandma had HBO. And I remember when I was a little kid, I would sneak out of the bedroom at 2 a.m. and turn on HBO. Not because I didn't know what pussy was. I didn't care about that. I was hoping to see Delirious, and sure enough, one night I turned it on, and there it was, Eddie Murphy's Delirious, and I was like, this is what I want to do. This right here, this is it. And that was the beginning.
Hey man, so what's life like on the road for you, Fluffy? Because you got your posse that travels with you a little bit, because man, you got your merch, your swag, all the stuff that you set up.
I got the bus, the semi, the production. It's a full show. But I tell people it's like WWE meets the Food Network.
Yeah,
we got everything, man.
But so you're not staying in but once you get there, you checking into a nice hotel.
It depends, because it's like, okay, for example, I fly out from LA to wherever the bus is at.
Right.
Let's say the next weekend we're going to be in Wisconsin. Okay, so I fly to Wisconsin, and then I'll ride the bus from Wisconsin, and then we'll do a 4-day run, different cities. So I'll be on the bus those 4 days, and then I fly home that Monday. Now, sometimes we'll check into the hotels if we want a decent shower instead of showering in the arena. Because the arena's usually got to take those showers the basketball showers.
Yeah.
The 8 nozzles.
Yeah.
And you got to play the game. Yeah.
Don't drop the soap.
Yeah, don't drop the soap. But yeah, I mean,
But dude, what's so man? Like, here's the thing. Now I can imagine a couple comedians rolling down the road in a bus. Man, back in my day, when there was a couple of wrestlers jammed in a car, a piece of shit car. You know, many guys would get fit in that motherfucker with a bunch of beer. It was a barrel of monkeys, man. I mean, it was just nothing. Laughing. I mean, we're talking about the business, talking about the matches, talking about the psychology, why to do this, when to do that. But you know, we was doing our thing. A lot of stuff going around. So what was
a lot of that? It was the exact same thing for us in the beginning. I mean, we're talking about right now. Right now, it's in a really good spot where we got space and we're talking about buses and semis. But of course, man, that was years of grinding it out in the cars and driving from here to to San Francisco to do shows. And you got 4 people in a Kia, and a Kia it says it's a 4-seater, but it's not really. When you got 3 people built like me, that's.
I did a gig in Virginia Beach one time. And I was doing this club, and I got a call, and it was a weird run, right, where the night in Virginia Beach ended on a Tuesday. And I got a call on Monday morning, and it was from a club in Little Rock, Arkansas, going, hey, can you come and do it? And I was like, man, I could use the $400. So I was like, all right. And then so I just remember I tried to sleep, and I couldn't sleep. I can never sleep the night before I know I have to drive somewhere. It was the worst thing. And so I remember leaving the gig, Virginia Beach at whatever, 1 a.m, head in the car, driving to Little Rock. I remember I pulled over somewhere in Memphis to get lunch. And I remember I don't do drugs, I don't drink, none of that. Just not for me, I don't judge anybody. It's just not. Yeah, I know. I just can't do it. It's not my thing. But completely, I was so out of it that I sat down at the restaurant. And I remember I looked at my fork for about 15 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? Like, I had no idea what it was. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. Like, that's how out of it. And then but once I got to the show, I made it just in time to go up on stage, and everything was fine. It's like it's weird how the show kind of wakes you up, puts you in wherever you need to be, and then right when the show's over, you're back to, fuck, where am I?
You zoned out, you didn't know what the fuck a fork was?
I sat out of it. I was like, what the fuck? And then finally, like, oh, right, it's a fork. Like, it took me. You
used it to shovel food in your mouth.
I was like, let me just follow what these other people are doing. They seem to be using it to help them eat. Like, that was how out of it I was.
And you promised me straight up, you ain't on no drugs?
Nothing.
Come on now.
I have to, choke him out to try to get him to have a drink with me.
Yes. Can I tell you why this is true? I'm sorry to do this, but when I was in high school, I'm going to apologize now. I was literally my first blowjob, right? I'm getting by this chick. She was fucking hot, whatever. She's at my apartment. I can't believe it's happening. I'm like, oh my God, she's really going to touch her dick with my mouth. Like, she's touching my dick with her mouth. This is crazy. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden it smells like a Pink Floyd concert in my apartment. And I'm like, I didn't know my mom was home, and I didn't know my mom smokes weed. And then like the chick gets weirded out, and she's like, that's fucked up. And I'm like, yeah, sorry. I was like, cause she was really religious, and you know what I mean? Like, this was against, blowing me was against, and she's like,
no, she was blowing.
Yeah. And then so she leaves, and then I bust my mom smoking pot. And that ruined it. I'm like, well, fuck, I'm never going to do this now.
I thought she was going to say, I busted a nut. And then, did you bust a nut?
Absolutely. Come on, you got to finish. And then I was like, well, thank you. That was very polite. That was like probably the worst blowjob. Her experience for her, that poor girl, was like, man, and then I had to go upstairs like, Mom. And it was funny how I could have instantly gotten busted for getting a blowjob in the living room, but instead it turns into me busting my mom smoking. And I'll never forget, my mom had the joint in her hand, and she goes, "Oh, this is my friend Julie's." Like, she gave me the excuse that I would have given, like, it was great. But I was like, well, my mom does it. I don't want to do any of this shit. Like, that ruined it for me.
So everybody got to have a vice. You can get a vice. What do you do to kill time?
Oh, yeah.
You ready?
I'll tell you his vice. This guy is a. Yeah, he's a big nerd, man. I mean, Comic-Con? This guy probably knows everyone at Comic-Con. He's one of the smartest people I've ever met. But, no, seriously, one of the smartest people I've ever met. He has this connection to comic book characters, to fictional. I mean, you name it, the guy can bring anything back. We went to this place called Frankensons, where they do the autograph signings and they sell collectible merchandise there. And I saw a Transformer, and I was like, hey, I recognize a Transformer. I had it as a kid. And I threw the name out. I said, "Oh, that's such and such." And right away, he checked me from like 5 feet away. He goes, "No, that's Battle. What was the name of it? It was a one that transformed into a train and a tank."
Oh, yeah, that was Blitzwing.
See
Yeah,
that?
Blitzwing.
See,
Yeah.
But I mean, that's how he is.
You know, that's why. And this is to bring it back to this. I didn't have a bad, like, I had a great child. My mom was I didn't know my father. Her boyfriend was my dad. You know, he was the one who took me to, sports bar and stuff. And he was great. And he raised me with this cool, like, I remember when I was sick, first day, I was in kindergarten, my first really bad illness, and I was scared to death. And he rented Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and we stayed up watching that. And he was cool, and he got me into wrestling. He would call it wrestling, which I loved. I thought that was so cool that it was, and he got me into that. And then I loved comic books too. And what I loved about pro wrestling, especially back then when they would really sell those characters way more than they do now, it was like, dude, these are my comic book heroes, but they're real. Like, that's what I loved about it. Like, I really believed that Hulk Hogan got this weird surge of supernatural powers when everybody cheered him on, and the Hulkamania. Like I tell you, I'm sorry. One other live event my dad took me to. Me and my cousin Eric. A couple of years later, we go to this time was at Reunion Arena, and it was WWF at the time was in town, and the main event was Hulk Hogan and the Big Boss Man, right? And so Big Boss Slick comes out, he distracts the referee. Boss Man handcuffs Hogan, beats him with the nightstick. And my cousin Eric and we're almost crying. We're like 8 years old. Like, we're going to see Hulk Hogan lose. I can't, because we're like, he's dead. How's he going to come back from this? He just got beaten with a nightstick. And then, Boss Man pins him. And right, it is about to get the 3. He kicks out. And Hulkamania starts, and we're screaming loud, like, oh, come on, we got to help him. And sure enough, he starts shaking. And